Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Tori if you're new here, and today we are doing another Prepper Pantry haul. I always come to you with these videos a little randomly, but it's some things that I've accumulated over the last week or so that I feel will be helpful in the event of an emergency. So an emergency can look different for just about everyone, and I like to emphasize that on the channel. So if you are new here, hi, hello. I would love it if you hit the subscribe button and became part of our YouTube family. We do self-sufficiency, preparedness, and all that comes in between on a budget. And I like to show you how to do it realistically, and I like to show you how to be prepared in a positive way. So we always like to take an approach to this with positivity because the world is daunting enough, and I find that everyone in the community is very kind in their offerings of wisdom when it comes to preparedness. So I am going to apologize in advance. My husband is on the roof. We've had a slight issue with our home that has been built in the 1970s. We just bought it, and if you're new here, it's been some turmoil, but these storms are not helping right now, and you might hear some banging around, so apologizing in advance. I have about, I'd say maybe 7 things on the list, and I feel like when I accumulate things, I do have all of you in mind. I know that's strange because prepping is so specific to the family, but I really do try and get things that are attainable, free, extremely budget friendly, and useful in different ways. I like to have things that are multi-use. So I hope that's helpful, and I would love it if you introduce yourself if you're new here. So let's get into the list. So if you are new here, I do have discounts and links to everything that I possibly can in the description box down below. I have to just disclose that I may get an affiliate commission, or sometimes I don't. I just link whatever website is closest to what I got, if that makes sense. But I encourage you to shop Facebook Marketplace. I encourage you to just filter it out to local and free. That's how I find things most of the time. And if I have the capacity to go get that thing, I will go get it. If not, then I look at my budget and see if I can fit it in a budget friendly way. I am a budget shopper. I get a thrill out of it. So I am the cheapest person you will ever meet. And I find that accumulating things for preparedness is just a gift that I have. So I'm excited to share that gift with all of you. But it's pretty simple. You know, you could go to yard sales, you could do, again, Facebook Marketplace, you could go to those thrift stores. So yes, access your needs, see what you have available to you in your community. If you are a preparedness freak like me, then definitely drop your hints in the description box down below. I often get comments telling me that it's silly to let everyone know that I have preps, but I think it's important to have this sense of community, and please know that you can keep your preps a secret if you want to. You can keep them partially a secret. Some of these items may not even be with me at all times, and I find that that's an important skill to have as well. So go ahead and check out my preparedness playlist. Number 1 on the list. I got this a while back and I've never shared it, and I feel terrible, but I am always looking for physical copies of books to keep in my prepper pantry. So that goes with, you know, maps. It could be recipe books. I collect old Amish cookbooks because I find them very valuable. I live in Amish country if you're new here, and it's amazing, but I just like to have those books on hand. This is the Ancient Remedies Revived, and I do have a discount code with this company. Full disclosure, they did send it to me, but this is super budget friendly, and there's just so many items in here. I am a sucker for herbs and flowers. You know that. Medicinal medicine is my jam. I am a certified herbalist. I did take a course to become that, although I don't think that you need to become a certified herbalist to practice these things in your life. Honestly, so many people are afraid of holistic medicine, and I really encourage you to do a deep dive into the Rockefellers and what they started out with before they went into the business that they're in, if that makes sense. So they were a sucker for holistic medicine. I would not say they were the fathers of holistic medicine, but they realized that you could profit off of a sick person, and then they just went from there. So that's all I'm going to say on that. We're not going to spiral into that rabbit hole, but there is food in here. There is different herbs, and you can find books like these that are specific to your region. So I live in the Northeast, so that's where I'm at with this, but I mean, anything. There's arnica on this page. There's arugula. I make tinctures. I do teas. I make lotions, balms. I try and implement this into our everyday diet, but there's just so much that you can do with a medicinal book. And I find, I know this is going to be a stretch, but I find that this may be a good segue for some of you in a grid down situation. So hear me out. A lot of people are addicted to screens. I work on a screen. I'm speaking to you through a screen, and I get that. I myself have fallen into that pit of doom scrolling. And when there's a grid down scenario, you're not going to have that right off the bat. You're not going to be able to reach for your phone. You're not going to be able to turn on the television or the computer. You might have to sit in your own silence. And I am promise you that I am not saying this in a condescending way, because I myself have had to train my mind to work like this. But there was a while there where I was reaching for my phone every time I got bored, and then I found that I was reaching for my phone every minute, and then I analyzed how much screen time I had during the day, and it's truly frightening. So I understand that these phones can be addictive, and in the event of an emergency, in the event of a grid down, it's about time we start training our minds to be mentally prepared for not being able to have everything at your fingertips, if that makes sense. So I always talk about that. That's a good segue. Go ahead and pick up yourself a medicinal book, or just any book really, and try and read that for a while, and then set your phone somewhere that you'll forget about it, if that makes sense. I don't know. So that's my segue. I hope that helps. Next on my list, I re-upped on my vitamins, and I do have to make a disclaimer here. These are perfect supplements. I talk about them all the time, but these are my supplements that I take. So beyond my herbal medicine that I take, and I find them to be very helpful. I am not a forager for mushrooms. I'm just not good at it. It's not my expertise. So I have, I guess, looked elsewhere. And the perfect mushroom immunity is made with chaga, reishi, and turkey tail. So this is great for immunity. The kids and I take it, and it's like nature's Dayquil. I mentioned it on my other channel, something that I take. I am pregnant with our 4th child, and I have found during allergy season, it's just very, very helpful, but it's a powerhouse. And I do have to disclaim that this is not any medical advice. So yeah, check into all that. Check into your doctors. If you have one, maybe go to a functional medicine practitioner or a naturopath or holistic medicine doctor, or figure it out on your own like I did, and then go from there. But you get 90 capsules. These are super inexpensive. I love Perfect Supplements because of their transparency. They're just straight up about where they get their ingredients. And I'm not a huge fan of all supplements, but these supplements are what they say that they are, and they are minimal ingredients. So really incredible, honestly. So mushroom immunity, nature's Dayquil. I do take beef liver, but they do have an ancestral blend, and I suggest that for every single woman. You really have to know your body, and that's another segue into just taking more of a simpler approach to your health. Just start looking at your body cues, what makes you feel good and what makes you don't. And I'm not talking about like, hey, I'm gonna go eat a cupcake because they're so good, it makes me feel good. Really listen to your body after that cupcake. Maybe it doesn't make you feel the greatest. Maybe you feel sluggish, and then you can go from there. Hint, hint, it's probably the sugar or the way that the flour is made or something like that. Maybe some artificial dyes or some really bad oils, but I digress. I'm just saying that there are ways to figure out your health without just like crawling to a practitioner and being so dependent on these professionals that sometimes profit off of you. So yes, beef liver. I really love beef liver. It gives me energy. It's just helpful as a female. It helps with blood issues and all of that. I'm not taking it right now because I'm pregnant and I don't want to mega dose on vitamin A. I do take a prenatal, which is new to me, from the brand Needed, and they are very transparent as well as to what they put into their vitamins. So yes, I was taking beef liver, but now I've switched. And then they also have another product that I always shout out, and it's always sold out. Well, there's two. There's acerola cherry, which is what I like to take with my beef liver for maximum absorption, but you could just take it with some sort of citrus, like lemon water or an orange or something like that. But they also have type 2 collagen, and I'm not talking about the collagen powder you put in your coffee or anything like that. I'm talking about type 2 collagen, and that is from bovine cartilage. And again, they're very transparent. I believe they're from the cows in New Zealand is where Perfect Supplements get theirs. But it is it's a game changer for joint health. I never thought I would be saying that I have issues with joint health, but mobility wise, I've been struggling with this pregnancy, and I started taking type 2 collagen, and oh my goodness, within days I felt better. I have osteochondritis dissecans in my knees, and it's kind of like an early onset arthritis, I guess it was explained to me, and it's just been such a game changer. That one is a little pricier. That one's $39.99, but you get so many capsules, and I think with my discount it brings it down a little bit. But I'm just saying, if you are having pain around mobility, try type 2 collagen. And maybe you don't want to go with Perfect Supplements, but look into it. Maybe you can find a local source that's always available. So that's what I got this week for supplements, and I always encourage people to have extra medicines or supplements, no matter what you take, on hand in the event that it can't be shipped to you or you can't get to it, you run out of money. There's so many factors that could go into an emergency setting when it comes to your medical needs. Next on the list, it kind of goes along with the medicine, but I love tallow. I usually make it myself, but I ran out, and I believe it is up in my hometown. We stayed there for a little bit when we moved back from Colorado, but I did find a company, Papa Bear Naturals. I talked about that on my other channel, but it's just a basic balm, and it's infused with lavender. They have a vanilla as well, but I love the lavender, and it's a multi-use balm. So I use it on the kids when they get poison ivy or a bug bite. So topically, it's great. You can use it as a moisturizer. Some people don't love the fact that this storm's coming, that they are, I didn't tell this channel yet, but a tree fell on the chicken coop. Everybody's okay out there bird wise, but I've just been nervous because it took me a long time to get roofing panels up there at 7 months pregnant. So anyways, the tallow, tallow is really great to have because it's multi-use. So again, you can use it for so many different things. Some people do use it for pain. You could even put some sort of peppermint oil or something like that in here just to give it that tingly sensation, but it's up to you. Tallow is very easy to make though as well. So look into that. See if your local butcher could, I don't know, cut you in on a deal when it comes to cooking down your own tallow. So it's up to you, but Papa Bear Naturals, great company. They're really awesome, and I love what they stand for. Again, another one that's very transparent. I think I have a code for them. I think it's 10% off too, but I'm not sure. You'll have to check in the description. They do make many different things. I found that it's all over the place. The only product I did not like was their deodorant. Their deodorant is, aluminum free, tallow based. It works great, but it has a yellow tint to it, and unfortunately it stains. And then, you can wash it out, but it stains whatever you're wearing. So if you're wearing a white dress, for instance, last weekend at a fun picnic, you're gonna look a little rugged there. So I would suggest maybe not getting the deodorant, or if you wear dark clothes, then you're good. But that was a product I did not like from them. They do have soap, and this is a soap concentrate. I am a sucker for Dr. Bronner's. I said it on the other channel. I don't like I don't like that company anymore. So I was looking for someone that made some sort of like Castile soap to keep on the shelf, a multi-use soap, and look how small it is. I'm so excited. Dr. Bronner's are huge, and it comes in plastic. This is glass amber, so it's great for shelf stability, and you can use it for so many things. You could use this to wash your clothes. You could use it to wash your dishes. You could use it to take a bath. Honestly, there are so many different things, and I'm so excited that I found it. Hopefully the kids are not afraid of this wind right now. Are you all right? Yeah. Okay. The wind just gets us a little bit. The trees are beautiful at this new house. I know we're getting off randomly in this video, but stick with me. I promise there's some entertainment there. Again, Castile soap, great to have, but if you want to support a cool company and me a little bit, I do get a kickback. I'm going to put this in the description box for you. Next on the list, not very exciting, I got Gauze. It was in the like super cheap bin at Tractor Supply. I've been wrapping my turkey's leg in it. I have a turkey with K legs, so it's like this, and I don't want to cull her because she's eating and drinking and she's a happy turkey, but we are trying to help her just get her leg back in place. If the bone has already set, it's probably not going to work, but we try anyways. But yeah, we ran out of bandages essentially, so these are going to be nice to have back in the medical supply part of my prepper pantry. And another thing that is coming is some bleed stop. I did not get a chance to plant much yarrow, which is typically what I use for wound care, because I'm an herbalist. So yeah, it depends what you want to have, but you can do whatever. My husband's a first responder, so of course he's going to use his bleed stop kit, and I'm going to use my yarrow, but combined it makes a great team. So there's that. Secondly, I did get some tea light candles. I got more of these. I know in my Dollar Tree Preparedness, I only got a few packs, but I love having these because you can cook with tea light candles. They last a long time, and they're usually pretty cheap. So 20 of these for $1.25. But on the topic of candles, if you can find 24-hour, or this one's 26-hour, or 3-day candles, these are great to have. I believe they're on sale. I got like a case of them. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 12 of these in this pack here. And I always have a price alert on, and I try and grab them whenever I can. They're just nice to have for like a power outage or something like that. You could definitely cook on these if you wanted to, but again, really great to have in the event of an emergency. Maybe you have some little ones that are afraid of the dark. Mine are not. They love it. They think it's a fun party, but it's nice to be able to see in the event of an emergency. This is probably the most random part of this haul, but I ended up getting a bunch of these garden clips. I consider, man, everything's fallen. Okay, I consider this part of emergency preparedness because I have a survival garden and I vertically grow. So it's nice to have these. It increases your yield if you're growing vertically and you're letting some air flow through those plants. So I put these on my emergency preparedness checklist because they're super cheap. It was like $3.96 for 80 of them, I think. I'll have it linked on Amazon, but you could just use clothespin or jute if you wanted. These are just really awesome to have because they're strong and they withstand some of this wind, so we shall see. It's getting rough out there. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't be this close to a window, but I gotta tell you about these deals. So here's that. They look like this. They might come in another color. I'm not sure. I'm not really picky when it comes to colors. Green is fine. Another thing that I picked up, I like to store my backup water in glass. There are many ways to store water. I have a whole video on water preparedness and how there are so many ways to go about it. So I suggest keeping multiple backups of water. People often ask me why, and I'm still mind boggled by that. Think about it. Think about how many times you use water. The human body needs water. Perhaps you have a garden that needs water, or animals, or children. It's very important to have access to clean water, and we are very, very fortunate to be able to have that. So I will have the rain barrel that we use linked below. I believe it's like $40, and you have a filter in there, has a hose. You can put it towards anything, but if you want to DIY a rain barrel and you're in a state where you can collect rain, just use like, go to like Lowe's or something and get a trash can, flip the lid, draw a hole, and then cut out the hole, and then put some sort of like screen there so you can filter out debris. And then on the bottom, all you're gonna do is put a faucet. So you just need a bit for your drill, and I made it, I made one, but you just drill a hole through essentially. I don't know what the bit's called. I'll show you it at some point. I'm hoping we're not losing light. Maybe this gives us a spooky element. Anyways, it's really easy to make one if you wanted to, but the one that we got on, I think it was Amazon, is really nice. I see all the time on Facebook Marketplace ICB totes or IBC totes that have not been filled with chemicals, which is very important, and you can store water in that as well. I suggest finding ways to filter your water, and I always suggest finding ways to get to a natural spring. Okay, I have one that has joined me, but 2 more things on the list, so this might go rapid fire. What I was saying with water, find a way to filter it out, find a way to carry it, and then find a way to haul that water. So I have a video coming up soon about how I do that. I found a nice little wagon setup, but there are ways that you can store the water. So I suggest collapsible water bins if you can, but there's so many different ways. So this is a 3-pack, it's made of plastic. I love storing water in glass, but again, I will take whatever I can get. This is under $6, and I found it in the camping section. All right, and last but not least, before we lose all this light, I picked up one of these crank radios. Important to have. You want to stay informed if the grid goes down, or maybe some of those towers go down. This is solar powered as well as battery powered, AM, FM, and you can also tune it to the WB if you wanted to. There's a light on there, an antenna, and these are super inexpensive. So whenever you can find one at like a yard sale, I suggest doing that. I want one for every member of the family, so I will slowly accumulate these again, but awesome to have in the event of an emergency so you can stay prepared. And that is gonna do it. I know, a quick list, but I wanted to fill you in on some of the deals that I found, and I wanted to put some unique items in your mind to start thinking about for your preparedness pantry. Maybe you think you have it all, but there are some items that I have that may be of use to you. So thanks for hanging out today. I would love it if you hit the subscribe button. As always, stay adventurous, stay creative, and stay safe out there. Bye, y'all.